Our next inductee is from Boise, Idaho, Mr. K.Hamilton. One of the defining elements of greatness is time. When a person can maintain a position as the best of the best for a long period, that's the definition of greatness. K.Hamilton was at the top of his game for so many years, many of us can't remember a time when he wasn't. Through the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, when you read Ken's name listed as a race winner or a champion, that seemed like the natural order of things. Ken was 26 years old when he won his first track championship. He won his most recent championship at age 67. In between, across that span of 41 eventful years, was a tenure of greatness that stretched across the western region of our country. His home track, Meridian Speedway in Idaho, is a key venue in the region. In 1989, Ken stepped up to take the promotional reins for nearly 20 years, making sure Meridian remained strong and viable. For many of us, Ken will be forever associated with a beautiful 90-inch Grant King sprint car known as the Pink Lady. In an age of cookie-cutter race cars, the Pink Lady proudly still stands for something artistic. If you were lucky enough to witness it, seeing Ken hustle the Pink Lady through the dogleg at Phoenix International during those glorious days of the copper world, that image will forever make you smile. Ken's legacy as a great racer continues through his son Davey Hamilton and grandson Davey Hamilton Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, from Boise, Idaho, Mr. K.Hamilton. Outstanding. You know, it's hard for me to fathom the differences that you saw as a racer from the time you started to when you wrapped it up, basically. I mean, 41 years between first win and last win, you surely saw everything change in our sport.
Tremendous changes in that years. I started out with a six-cylinder car that was a piece of junk, and fortunately I got some rides. My big time getting a ride with Art Sugai. He's the one with the Pink Lady, and once we had some problems, not because of Art, but because of a crew chief. There was several drivers in between there. But in the end, Art called me up and he said, I want you to buy my car back. I want you to have it. And I said, golly, Art, probably I can't afford it right now. And he said, you'll be able to afford it. Just come on over. So I went over, and it had been sitting in the garage for a couple of years. And I think Jerry Sineva was the last to drive it. Anyway, it was pretty shambled. Took it home and cleaned it all up. Called Art, and I said, hey, we're going to go to Phoenix for the Copper World. You want to go? He said, man, I'd love to, but I can't afford it. And I said, Art, you get to Boise, you can afford it. And anyway, we were lucky enough to go down there and win the race. And Art was standing there. But first of all, when he sold me the car, he said, well, now what color are you going to paint it? I said, well, all my cars have been red. He said, would you consider leaving it being pink? And I said, Art, that's your color. If you want it pink, it'll be pink forever. And that's the best thing that could ever happen to me.
You know, I have to think when you would roll into a racetrack and your 40-year-old race car beat everybody with a 60-year-old driver, that had to feel good, man, really. It had to.
Well, it did really feel good. It really felt good. But racing has been so good to me because of my son taking over and going to Indy and so forth. But it's just been a wonderful trip, and I'm so fortunate, so humbled to be amongst all these people in this room right now. I can't thank them enough. And it's just been a wonderful ride, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
Now, Boise's not exactly on the way to any place that I know of, but so one thing you had to fight against probably, I'm going to guess, is you would travel around and people would say, who's this guy from? Where is he from? Boise, Idaho. That's just not where you'd typically think of. But you guys up at Meridian really changed that picture over the last few decades because there's a ton of great racers come out of there now.
Fortunately, we have. It's been a real starting place for a lot of racers, and it's going to continue to be that way. But we've traveled all over the country, and it's just, I can't say enough about it, how humble I am to be amongst these drivers and these people in this auditorium. It's just a wonderful feeling, and I'm sorry I can't really speak too well, but I'm so humbled by it and really appreciative, and I want to thank them all. So that's about all I can say.
You know, you've had the experience now. You know, as you matured in your racing, you watched your son, Davey, step up and become a great racer in his own right, and now your grandson, Davey Jr. What's it like as a dad who's been a consistent winner like you to watch and tutor and mentor your son and grandson, really?
Oh, it's been great. It's been so much fun to see how well they've done, and they continue to do it, and they'll be doing it for a long time. But, you know, also I should really be thanking my wife and all of my family that are here today, and my help. I've had some great help over the years that's made this all possible for me, and I can't thank them enough. And I can't name all of them by name, but it's just been wonderful to have the help.
Man, you did good there thanking your wife, because that's a long ride back to Boise, brother. I'm just saying. So what did you, as a mentor, as a coach to your son and grandson, what did you tell them when they said to you, well, hey, I want to race. I want to do this. What'd you try to give them? What'd you teach them?
Well, I tried to teach him everything that I knew at the time, and particularly for David. It was a time for drugs and stuff like that coming into the area at his age, and I said, here's the deal. I'll help you do whatever you want to do in racing as long as you stay off the drugs. And he did. You come down and help me with the car, and we'll go on and you'll win races. And that's exactly what he did, and that's how I helped push him on. The grandson, fortunately, David's been taking care of that as far as getting DJ going. DJ's doing a great job down in Florida right now, and David's providing him with a Silver Crown car and a Sprint car up in Indiana, and I think that he's got a long career in front of him.
Well, it's just been great to watch you progress through the years, Ken, in that beautiful race car, and you conducted yourself with a lot of class, and that car represented that, and I'm proud of you today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I thank everybody at this museum. Man, it's the greatest thing. I've always wanted to come here, but never thought I'd be able to be here in this position. Such a wonderful feeling.
It is wonderful, and here you are. Ken Hamilton, how about it? I've never heard anybody call you David before.